I remember many incidents in my life about where I was able to understand different realities, different perspectives, different observation of life. I remember in Tonga, in this island called Wakaetu. Maybe I was 8 or 9 years old, and regularly the elders, they would come and drink kava and talk. And anyway, this particular night, I was sitting around the fire where they were, and they were talking, and later at night they started talking about the legends and myths and folklores of the ancient Tonga. And I remember I was so absorbed into it, and that I started creating images in my brain that I myself was in it. And later on, when I was in New Zealand, because I was always interested in supernatural, metaphysical, paranormal, spiritual aspects of reality. Anyhow, in New Zealand, I came across somebody who was a Hare Krishna devotee, and he started telling me about the Hare Krishna mantra. And not only he told me, but he also was explaining, to get the benefit of it, I have to concentrate on the sound. I have to pronounce the letters, the vowels, and do it really slowly, etc. At the same time, I was also reading two sacred texts of India, the Sanskrit, but translated to English, the Bhagavad Gita and the Brahma Samhita. So, and maybe 1-2 weeks later, I thought, okay, I'll try it. So I sat down and I started chanting, and all of a sudden I became aware that this particular reality, all of a sudden I'm in a part of my brain where I was looking down, I was sitting there, and I'm completely aware that I'm sitting there, my body's chanting Hare Krishna, really slowly. But there was another part of my brain that I was aware of as a consciousness that was chanting, but really like the speed of light. And I was completely conscious of the two activities simultaneously, spontaneously happening within my brain. And a few days later, I was in this place, and all of a sudden I was surrounded by maybe 8 or 10 gang members, and before I know it, I was hit on the back with a stick, and then all of a sudden I came back into consciousness, and again, 2 incidents. I'm looking, I'm floating on top of my body, looking down at my body, and I could see that these gangs, they were hitting me with sticks and kicking me, and they had boots on. But yet at the same time, I'm all of a sudden I'm reciting the Bhagavad Gita, verses to verses, and my brain was constructing was building images and scenes that was applicable to the verses. So my voice, I could hear my voice reciting the Bhagavad Gita in my brain, and I also at the same time my brain was creating images and scenes. At the same time I'm conscious of the gang members beating my body and kicking my body. And anyhow, and although it seemed like long time I was suspended in a particular reality of my brain, it was only for a few minutes, and then I came back and I had super power for a few seconds, and I pushed them and they went flying. Anyway, and then a few days later I was again meditating, sitting and meditating in a particular verse from the Brahma Samhita that I was really interested in. And again, same thing, I was something triggered within my brain, and I was in my brain, and the same voice started reciting verse to verse to verse of the whole Brahma Samhita. And then again, when I come back, I only remember 2 verses, completely shut off. So this incident gave me a really fundamental and deep understanding of different realities. And also later on being interested in neuroscience and the discovery of neuroscience, I came to have a deep understanding the difference between the major part of my brain and the smallest part of my brain. The big software and wetware, the wetware, software, and this hardware, how they simultaneously, it's all going on. So this wetware, software, it's the most amazing, a most incredible system. So when my wetware, when my software is in a little fish body, it will function, it will exist according to that particular hardware. If it's a little fish, it will act and move and exist like that little fish. If it's a dolphin, if it's a whale, if it's a shark hardware, it will exist according to that programming, that's programmed to upload and download. This is all depending on that particular software and not in the particular algorithm and apps that it has been programmed to that to the software. But the point is, it will never ever diminish the capacity, the capability, the power of this wetware and software, just because it is in a particular hardware and it is functioning only in that particular hardware. That won't diminish it, because it has been manifested, it has been created to be able to experience unlimited form, shapes and color, unlimited sound, unlimited melodies and rhythm, loud sound and soft sound, chaotic sound and harmonic sound, different sense, all kind of senses. This wetware software is capable of experiencing that different tastes, different sensation,